Ever feel like you're stuck in some kind of time warp? Like when you're making the same tiny edits across like a zillion word docs?
Ooh, tell me about it.
Seriously, I swear I spend half my life just doing find and replace. It's the digital equivalent of, what, painting a house with a Q-tip?
Yeah. A Q-tip.
Right. But, okay, what if I told you there's this software, right, and it says it can handle those mind-numbing edits, but get this, across hundreds of documents all at once.
Okay.
We're talking text, we're talking images, even formatting changes, all with a few clicks.
Wow. That's a pretty big claim.
That's why we're diving into Office Find and Replace today.
Yeah.
We're going on a mission to uncover if this tool is the real deal.
Yeah, separating the hype from the reality, I'm in.
Because, trust me, when I saw that they said they could replace text and images across hundreds of documents, I was like, sign me up yesterday.
Right. But we got to break this down. So they make a huge deal about handling bulk edits, which, let's be honest, that's the dream for anyone who has to work with a ton of documents.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, imagine you're like dealing with a company-wide rebrand.
Yeah.
You've got proposals, contracts, presentations. They all need the logo swapped out, the company name updated. Doing that manually, that would take you like forever.
Don't even get me started on the potential for errors.
Oh, yeah.
But they're saying this software can handle it all, like in one go.
Okay, so how does this even work?
Yeah, is this like words find and replace, but like on steroids?
It's more than that. Think of words find and replace like as a very basic search function.
This software is like having, I don't know, a whole team of highly trained interns, like combing through your documents.
Okay.
And they're making those changes with like laser precision.
Mm-hmm.
And the kicker is, it's not just for text. It can handle images and even formatting changes across multiple files.
Okay, now that's where it gets really interesting. So let's say I need to update the formatting of all the headings in, let's say, a 200-page report. We're talking font, size, maybe even color. Is that something that this Office Find and Replace could actually handle?
That's exactly the kind of task that this software is supposed to like eliminate. Instead of going page by page, manually adjusting each heading, you could, theoretically anyway, make those changes across the entire document. Just a few clicks.
Think of the time saved.
Right.
And think of all the frustration avoided. Now I know what you're thinking. What about Excel? Surely this magic only works on Word docs, right?
Well, get ready to be amazed, because they say this software, it can handle Excel files too.
Get out.
Yeah. And we're not just talking about replacing, a few numbers here and there. Imagine updating like financial figures across hundreds of spreadsheets with a single click.
Yeah.
That's the power this software claims to have.
Hold on, I need to sit down for this. Okay, so it can tackle Word docs, it can wrangle Excel spreadsheets. Is there anything this thing can't do?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
Right.
But they do say something else interesting. It works on both Windows and Mac.
Which, let's be real, that's a breath of fresh air. For anyone who has ever struggled with like compatibility issues.
Compatibility. Ugh,
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I've lost count of how many times I've had to like boot up a different computer just to open a file.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like they understand the pain points, like they get us. Okay, so far so good. But this all sounds almost too good to be true, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe a little.
So let's get into some of the like finer details, yeah. One thing that I noticed was they said they could find and replace text formatting, and get this, with incredible precision. We're talking bold, underline, strike through, italics, font colors, like the whole 9 yards.
It's not just about like doing these blanket replacements. It's about surgical precision.
Right.
Imagine your company goes through a rebranding, and that specific shade of teal, it's got to go. It's got to be banished from every single document.
Oh, the horror.
Right.
I've been there. It's enough to make you want to toss your computer out the window. But with this software, you can target those specific things and replace them across multiple documents like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So instead of like drowning in a sea of formatting inconsistencies, you can wave your magic wand and like, poof, all better.
Right.
That's the promise, at least.
Yeah.
But let's talk about images for a sec, okay? Because they specifically mention image replacement. And they even mention flexible scaling options to keep things looking sharp,
It sounds like they thought about the little details, which is good.
Yeah.
Because we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
You replace an image, and suddenly your whole layout, it's all messed up.
That's like playing document Jenga. The worst. You pull out one blurry logo and the whole thing explodes. But they're saying This software, it can handle image replacements without those formatting headaches.
Right. And it gets, like, even more interesting. They say you can extract graphs, like, as images directly from Excel.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. You're saying, remember those days where we used to take like clunky screenshots and then try to crop them like perfectly?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
The worst.
It felt so amateur, but like what else could you do?
This software wants to free you.
Okay.
They're saying you can just pull those graphs and charts right into your documents.
Huh.
Like, they're still clear. The formatting's still good.
Okay, that is a game changer, especially if you're, someone who works with data like visualizations all the time. But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about something that's like always on my mind when it comes to software, especially if I'm going to be using it with like sensitive documents.
Right.
Data security. Do they even like mention that at all?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's not one they really seem to want to answer.
Yeah.
At least not in their marketing materials.
Yeah.
They talk about like how easy it is to use, the compatibility, all those fancy features. But when it comes to security, they get real quiet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, that's a red flag for me. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that the software is like insecure.
Right.
But the fact that they're not, like shouting it from the rooftops, their security measures, makes you wonder.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, trust us, it's fine.
Yeah.
But they don't give you any reasons, to back that up.
Right.
So this is where, you got to do your own research.
Yes. Don't just take their word for it. Like, actually look into this.
Right.
So what should people be, like, looking for?
I would start by checking out their website. Do they have, like, a detailed privacy policy?
Okay.
That should tell you how they're handling your data.
Uh-huh.
And look for anything about encryption, right? Both, like in transit and at rest.
Yeah.
And if you're really serious about security, see if they have any, like, third-party audits or certifications.
Okay, so security is a bit of a question mark. But let's get back into the features for a minute, because they make a huge deal about their wildcard characters and regular expressions for pattern matching. Okay, can you, like, break that down for those of us who, don't speak code?
Okay, so think of wildcard characters as, like, your trusty sidekicks, right?
Okay.
In the fight against inconsistency, let's say you need to find every mention of color in a document, but it's been spelled, both the U.S. and the U.K. way.
Ugh, the eternal struggle.
Right. A wildcard character, you can search for both color and color at the same time. So you don't have to do two separate searches. Regular expressions, those are like next level.
Okay.
Those are like superpowered search queries. Okay. They can find and replace text based on like really complex patterns.
Yeah. So give me like a real world example. How would I use a regular expression like with this software?
Okay. So imagine you have this massive document. Okay. And it's got phone numbers like all over the place. But they're formatted in like a million different ways.
Right.
Some with parentheses, some with dashes, some with country codes. A regular expression could find all of those and standardize them in one go.
Now that's impressive.
Right.
It's like they took find and replace and they gave it a like, superhero upgrade.
Yeah.
But even with all of these like bells and whistles, I have to ask, is this software really like accessible to the average person? Because let's be real, some software out there, you feel like you need a PhD to use it.
Right.
It's so complicated.
This is a valid concern and thankfully one that they address. Okay.
Yeah.
They really emphasize the straightforward interface.
Right.
And they actually want users to like download the free trial and just see for themselves.
See, a free trial, always a good sign, right?
It definitely
shows
is.
they're confident in what they're putting out there.
Yeah, like try before you buy. Always a good thing.
Exactly. So for anyone out there listening who is like drowning in documents and they just need something, anything to like, help them get through the day.
Yeah.
This tool might be worth checking out.
It's like having like a virtual assistant.
Right.
To handle all that tedious stuff.
Yeah.
All those little tasks that just like suck the life out of your day.
All those things you don't want to do.
Exactly.
But, we got to say it. Remember what we talked about.
Yes.
Data security.
Yep.
Before you upload like anything confidential,
Right.
make sure you read their privacy policy.
Yes.
Okay. And make sure you're comfortable with like how they handle your data.
100%.
You're right. Security first, always, folks. But I think this software, even if it's not for everybody, it might not work for everyone.
Sure.
It brings up like a bigger point, which is that,
It shows where things are going.
yes,
This whole automation thing.
exactly, it's becoming so important.
Right, every industry, right. It's not just like, robots on an assembly line anymore.
Right.
Like, now software can literally, like, handle those boring, repetitive tasks,
Well,
ones that would take us forever to do.
and who hasn't wasted, like, hours of their lives doing things that probably could have been automated?
Oh, all the time.
You know? Like, imagine what we could do with those hours back. We could do, like, the creative stuff.
The fun stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that actually, like, matters.
That makes a difference, yeah?
And the software with, like, all its document wrangling capabilities, right? And, like, the universal changes with a few clicks.
Yeah.
It's just one example of how automation can, like, free us.
It's exciting. It's like we can finally focus on the things that, like, we're good at.
It's like they say, work smarter, not harder.
Right, exactly.
And with all these tools coming out, we can actually do that. So whether it's this software or something else,
Yeah, there's so much out there.
Find what works for you, but find something that helps you.
Yes, 100%.
Work smarter, everybody.
Yeah, and have some fun along the way.